Back with another video here, and we are going to be looking at episode 3 of the greatest offence in World War II, Colorized. And it is a one that probably one that people would be looking forward to in this, and it is in fact Pearl Harbor. And I actually, obviously everyone knows about Pearl Harbor, like the Japanese attacked, Hawaii, killed a lot of Americans, right? But does anyone actually know the reason, why it happened? The Japanese literally go, well, you know what? Fuck you, Americans. We're gonna stand up against you, you bastards. And basically, it goes into history about how Japan doesn't feel respect it, and then America brought out these laws, discriminating laws that they didn't really properly view the Japanese as proper people. Which fucking hell, what's going on back in the 1940s and 30s, man? What's going on? Racism everywhere back here. And then the Japanese are like, well, you know what? We don't want to be played as little men. We're big fish in a big pond. Big pond. The Pacific Ocean. We are going to lay the smack down. And out of nowhere, they annihilate Pearl Harbor. Absolutely send Pearl Harbor to the ground. And I thought this was unfucking real to actually watch. You saw all these Navy ships get sunk. It's insane how many people die. But the thing is, Japan kind of job out because they don't get the job done. I think they actually said that 3/4 of the stuff that Japan actually sunk here was brought up and fixed, which I actually think it's mad. But over the course of the 7 hours, basically goes on to talk about how they were coordinated Japanese attacks on islands in the Pacific. You had the Philippines, Singapore, Hong Kong, those sort of places getting took by the Japanese. And the Japanese, man, they were fucking laying the smack down here. There was no fucking hang about it. There was absolutely no hang about it. But on a large tits, if you think it, America's massive. What gives Japan the balls, the cojones, to absolutely go after them? It's because they're mad. And you know what? You've got to throw a bit of respect Japan's way. They kind of just had the no surrender mentality. This could have been avoided though, as I believe. The general at the time, I can't remember his name, but he actually got a warning, and then due to this failure, that he didn't actually act on it because the scramblers that were on Hawaii basically thought it was just a wee test, so to speak. Turns out it wasn't. It was actually the real thing. It was the real McCoy, and absolutely disaster. But you know what? The attack actually took place before any formal declaration of war was made by Japan. And he actually, this was not the commander, Admiral Yamamoto's intention. He actually believed the attack should take place after the declaration of war, but to be honest, if you do that, then your element of surprise kind of goes out the window. But they actually lay the smack down here. A lot of deaths from the American sides. 2,403 were killed. This basically sends America into overdrive, and then we have a battle of the Pacific, and America eventually wins, but they get so lucky. It's pretty even. Japan loses the odd ship. America's getting battered, and there's a few kamikaze fighters, which it goes a bit more into in episode 10, which is Hiroshima, but I'll get to that later down the line. That will be in a pretty big while. So yeah, we talk about Hiroshima later on, but the Americans are making a flyover, right? And it just shows you how this sort of war would not happen today. He sees a random what was it they described as a shine effect in the distance, and he thought, fuck, that might be the Japanese, and then they head over, and it's the fucking entire Japanese fleet, which then basically makes America lay waste on the Japanese fleet, absolutely wiping it. Japan here kind of got screwed by bad luck and weather, and during all this, you've obviously got them declaring war, but also Germany and Italy declaring war. The Axis, big man. Franklin D. Roosevelt said this day a date which will live in infamy because they attacked Hartman without a declaration of war, without explicit warning. So yeah, there's that. But you know, like you look at an attack like this, like say the Japanese actually had a weapon of mass destruction like Hiroshima, I think they would have fucking dropped it. I don't think you can really, like, I'm not justifying Hiroshima or Nagasaki or whatever, but you know, if the Japanese had a weapon of that destruction, would they have used it against Americans on Hawaii, for example? Because they wouldn't have been able to get territory close enough to fly it to America, like mainland. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could have got to Alaska. I mean, I probably need to look at it a bit more, but obviously back then it was harder to do all that shit. But this was a really good episode, to be honest. This is probably my favourite episode. There is, I mean, fuck, every episode's pretty good, but you know, eventually America, of course, defeat Japan here, but I won't get on to who wins the war until episode 10. Of course, we know what happens, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I love this episode, being honest, just seeing the Navy ships and all the battling in the air. I mean, I make it like it's a movie. It fucking happened. It is what it is. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.